Hello. So my dashboard question is, um, how do sales and profit trends compare by each market that this company is selling in? And I included some category information as well, product of the product categories. So here's kind of a live tour. We have all of the markets that the company sells into. There's a geographic map. The yellow end of the spectrum is the lowest sale countries, and the greener area countries have the highest sales. And then down at the bottom, there's an element um, here that can filter um, each region or each market's categories, sales, as well as profit ratio. And then on this side, we have the sales and profit ratio by year so we can get an idea of trends over time. So we'll go back to the whole view, and then this is a view of the entire company's performance over this time period. And so some of the things I noticed as I was going through and putting this together was that the sales have increased each year and even appear to be accelerating. But at the same time, the overall profit ratio has appeared to have peaked and begun to decline in the last year of the data. So when I looked through some of the individual markets, we can see that Africa performs extremely well. The profit ratio and sales, while the profit ratio does appear to be slowing down a little bit, it's still increasing during the year when the um, overall market, global market, saw a decline. And then we compare that to something like the Asia Pacific region, where we can see they have an increase of sales, but a decline in profit ratio over the last year. And then if we go back to this overall view, we can see that they're also one of the largest markets for sales volume. And so that's probably a large contributor to the overall performance beginning to decline for profit ratio. And the same thing is evident in North America. We can see a decline in profit ratio overlapping the increase in sales. Latin America, this is a little subdued, but still the same trend. Same thing in Europe. You can see sales have increased dramatically, but the profit ratio is beginning to drop off. And so this led me to some recommendations or actions for future analysis. The company could study why some of these markets sales are continuing to increase, but their profit sale or their profit margin and profit ratio is beginning to decrease. They could analyze their supply chain and some of their operational logistics, or maybe the marketing and advertising departments could take a closer look at what's going on there. They could also identify potential areas for growth. One of the examples I noticed was, for example, Africa, which we know performs really well with profit margin and sales. And there's several countries that aren't being sold to at all. And then many others in very close proximity to high volume sales countries that aren't selling hardly any. You know, we could see Egypt is selling 84,000 in sales and Libya is only 7,000. So maybe the company could focus on expanding their operations in these potentially higher profit margin markets. Um, I think that's about it. And thanks for listening to my presentation.